Welcome to another edition of Exotic Gardening UK, Yorkshire Kris Weekly. And the weather's definitely changed for the worse over the last few days. It's got a lot colder. We've had some nights here down to about 5 degrees, and I know other parts of the country have seen frosts. The Manchester area, Northern Ireland, down to freezing. Scotland got down to -5 on a couple of nights in a row. So it really has changed what the weather's like, and it means some of the plants do need to be brought in. So for any tender house plants, anything that's just been out for the summer that's very tender, definitely I'd bring them in if you're in those areas that have got those sort of cooler temperatures. Here it's just borderline. The houseplants don't like anything under 10 degrees, so when it's been down to 5, 6, 7 degrees, they don't really like it. But I haven't really got any of those very tender plants in the garden. But I do have some tender plants that I need to take cuttings off soon. But thankfully here, everything's still looking good, so I don't need to worry about that quite just yet. So if we look around the garden, everything's still looking good. So we've got obviously the bananas and all the structural plants, the palm trees, the tree ferns, the yuccas that look good all the time. But all the flowering plants and the foliage plants like the Kiliome, the Minimilibata, all still blooming, and they don't know it's going to be cold soon and winter, so they just carry on growing and growing, slowing down in the growth but still flowering as we've still got a bit of sunshine. And even things like the gingers, we've got ginger tara that's looking superb at the moment, flowering all the way through the spires. We've got lots of colour, lots of fragrance, and it sort of captivates that part of the garden. So we've got all the foliage around it and then these stunning pops of colour with the gingers. But like I mentioned, there's lots of plants soon that I'll be taking cuttings of. So things like the Plectranthus and the Solenstormum, things like that I want to keep year after year and that are seen. I'll be taking cuttings of those in the next week or two, bringing them into the greenhouse, and then we'll be rooting them and then keeping them as small plants in the heated propagator over winter. I know a lot of people have been digging up their onset bananas this week. I think if you've had frost, then probably a good idea to do so. But it's still early-ish for most of the country. If you've not had very cold weather, you can still keep them out for a few more weeks if you're going to spend time in the garden. It's still fine. They're not going to get, chilled at the moment. And they can do with a couple of frosts, a few frosts, as long as it's not down to like -2 or below for too long. Obviously it will damage the leaves if you do get a frost, but most people are not going to get a frost, hopefully, damaging frost anyway, for a few more weeks yet. So here I can carry on enjoying the dramatic leaves and the flowers in the garden, hopefully till half term at the end of October. Now I'm standing inside at the moment. I'm inside the garage cum greenhouse, and we've gone from painting it all, doing the roof this summer, and finally getting round to the floor. So this is the roof of the garage that was tiled earlier in the year. All that was removed, and then I've installed this 60mm clear polycarbonate roofing, painted all the rafters white, and I've painted the walls, got double glazed windows here as well. And then if we look down, I've just been finished off the flooring, so these 600mm square outdoor porcelain tiles with a pebble finish. Just been doing the grouting this morning, so it's a bit cloudy, the tiles, need to give it a few more cleans over. But I'm very happy with the results and the finish of this. And then over the next week or so, I'll be able to bring in the staging, chairs, maybe radio as well, and then I can start thinking about overwintering the half-hardy and tender plants, get the propagator in here, get all the cuttings sorted out, and then in a few weeks time the big onset bananas and all the other tender plants will be brought in here. So I'm really pleased with how the project has evolved this year, converting my garage into pretty much a fully working greenhouse. Thanks for watching this edition of Exotic Gardening UK. Join me next week, where I'll be doing a lot in the greenhouse.